In this chapter, we are going to see how we can find the equation of a straight line. To begin with, let's revise the concept of equation first. The figure here shows you an equation called 2x plus y equal to 6. And you can see there are so many points on the straight line. For example, you can see there's a point called 2, 2, which lies on the straight line. You can find out some more, like there's a point called 3, 0, or there may be a point called 1, 4, which is lying on the straight line. On the contrary, there are some points which are out of the straight line or not on the straight line. For example, so you have a point minus 2, 4, which is not on the straight line. You can also find out some more examples like 4, 6 on the right corner, or you may say 6, 2, which is also on the right. We can say this is called a geometric way to see whether a point is on a straight line or not on a straight line. Now let's take a look on an algebraic way to see whether a point is on a straight line or not. Let's take the first example, 1, 4. When you put 1, 4 into the equation of straight line, that means we put 1, 4 into the line called 2x plus y equals 6, you will observe that the left-hand side and right-hand side, they balance or they are equal. What does that mean? That means when you do substitution, on the left is 2 times 1 plus 4, which is a 6, and you will see that it matches with the right. You can check some other points like 3, 0. When you do the substitution on the left-hand side, it will be equal to 2 times 3 plus 0, which is a 6. So this is the way how we can judge a point is on a straight line or not if the diagram is not given to you. On the contrary, now we can pick some points, for example, like minus 2, 4 in the substitution. When you bring it into substitution, the left-hand side becomes 2 times minus 2 plus 4, which is 0, which means it's not equal to right-hand side. In this situation, we can explain minus 2, 4 is not on the straight line, even though we don't draw the diagram. Next, we come to see different formats of equation of straight line. The first one, which is known as standard form, is the easiest one, which will put x, y, and a constant on the left-hand side, which is equal to 0. So for example, a straight line called 2x plus y minus 6 equal to 0 is called a standard form. Or you may say y minus 4 is equal to 0 is also a standard form. You should also pay attention that the letters A, B, C, they are standing for constants or simply they are standing for numbers in your format. Next, the second one, which will be used quite often in the future, is called slope-intercept form. The format is special because we will put y as the subject. That means it will be a single y on the left-hand side equal to mx plus c. That means it's equal to a certain quantity of x, like 2x, 3x minus x, etc., and add up constant, maybe plus 1, minus 5, plus 7, etc. In this format, it is very important that we will see two important information as reflected in the name. The first one is the m, which is standing for the slope, whereas the second one, c, will be standing for the y-intercept. With these two important information, we can quickly draw a line without using graph paper or without further checking for different points. What does that mean? It means like, let's say, if I give you a line which is called y is x plus 2, you will very quickly see that in this equation, the slope is 1, which means the line should be going up. Secondly, you will know that the y-intercept it will be at 2, so that's why the line will be passing through 2 on the y-axis. As a result, you know x-axis should be below 2, which means the diagram can be drawn in this way. Do you find that your concept is clearer after listening for these words? Yes, because slope and y-intercept helps you to justify or to fix the position of a line on the x-y axis. The last one, which is out of syllabus, but I think is quite easy to understand the following. The format of the equation will be called x over a number, y over a number equal to 1. It is named as intercept form. According to the name, that means the question or the format will be giving you two intercepts. The first one, which is a number below x, it is called x-intercept. That means you can read the number and get the x-intercept accordingly. Whereas b will be below y, so that's why it will be helping you to read the y-intercept. In order to read this information, you have to pay attention that the number on the right hand side should be a 1, or else it won't be called intercept form as well as telling you the xy intercept. Now take an example to see how we can draw the line. Let's say x over 4 plus y over 6 equal to 1. In this situation, that means the equation is telling you that x-intercept will be a 4 for this line, y-intercept is a 6 for this line. As a result, because you have 2 points that the line should pass through, so that's why the line should look like in this format or in this way. Finally, we can come to the details how we can find the equation of a straight line. In your book, basically, there are 2 ways to find equation of straight line. The first one is called when you have been given a 1 point and the slope of a straight line, you can find the equation of it. Or there may be 2 points given to you, you are able to find the equation of straight line as well. But to my point of view, actually they're the same thing, that you need 2 information in order to find the equation. The first one will be you need the slope. The second information will be you need 1 point. So with your idea in the previous part, you will see that when you know the slope and you know a point, actually you can fix the position of a line already. The box below tells you the way or the formula how you can make use of slope and a point to find the equation of straight line. But I'm going to explain to you how this formula will be working. So now in the question, you will know that the slope of a line will be m, whereas it also passes through a point called x1, y1. So in your imagination, you can see when you have a slope and it passes through a point called x1, y1, the line should be looking in this way. Next, you can imagine there is a certain point which is also on the straight line as well. This point is moving everywhere along the purple line, so that's why I make use of variable xy representing it. It may be on the right of x1, y1, or it may be on the left or very far left on the x1, y1 as well. But anyway, wherever you draw the xy and also x1, y1, can you see that they are also lying on the same straight line with the slope called slope equal to m? As a result, with your knowledge in the previous year, you will know that y minus y1 over x minus x1, so no matter where is the xy, and you will see that it should be equal to m. For example, now I make use of a red pen to highlight it for you. Let's say xy now is moving to the right hand side, and the line segment connecting xy and x1, y1 will be this red line, and the slope is equal to m. So that's why the formula applies. Now I change the color into blue. Let's say xy now it moves to the left hand side, then this point will be our new xy, which is connected to x1, y1 by the line segment in blue. And you will see that this line segment, the slope is also equal to m. As a result, this formula applies as well. Finally, if you move away the x1 minus x1 towards the right hand side, so you will get the formula in the box provided, which is called y minus y1 equal to slope and x minus x1. So this is how we generate the formula. After knowing the principle or the concept how we can make the formula called point-slope form, after that we come to some easier part, which is with the information given to you, how you can find the equation of straight line accordingly. Let's start with A, which is a line passing through 3, 5 with a slope 3. So you can draw a very quick diagram for your reference. Slope equal to m, so that means the line is going up. It passes through 3, 5, so that means it is a point on the straight line. According to the formula, you should know y minus 5 over x minus 3 will be equal to the slope. And you will see I make use of the concept right now, but not to apply the formula directly, because actually it comes from the slope between the point xy as well as the 3, 5 given in the question. As a result, y minus 5 equal to 3 times bracket x minus 3. After expansion or simplification, you have y minus 5 is 3x minus 9, or as a result, when you move everything towards the right or on the left, and you should finally got 3x minus y minus 4 yield 0. It's pretty easy, right? Now let's take a look on part B, and let's see whether you can do it by yourselves. First of all, slope is 2. Should it be going up or going down? Yes, that's good. It's a line going up with slope is equal to 2. Next, there is a point called 4, 3, which is lying on the straight line. So as a result, you can have y minus 3 over x minus 4 equal to 2. And after simplification, you should have y minus 3 is 2x minus 8, or 2x minus y minus 5 equals 0. This is a way how you make use of a point and the slope of a line to find its equation. The second way to be introduced is called two-point form. According to its name, you can see this time we are giving you 2 points called x1, y1 and x2, y2 respectively. Compared to the previous method, and you will see that now the slope is not given. As a result, we need to find it out first. With the help of the information of 2 points, you should know slope can be found by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And as a result, when you go back to the formula itself, you should have y minus something over x minus something equal to the slope, which is called y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Because now you've got 2 points to apply, so that's why you can make use of y1, x1, a certain point, in order to help you to generate the formula. If you find that the point x1, y1 is not very favorable, maybe a very big number or negative number, whatever, actually you have another choice by making use of y minus y2 over x minus x2 equal to the slope again, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So that's why I don't like to treat it as a second method, but it's only an extension or like a kind of variation of the first formula. The key is still making use of the value of a slope, as well as using y minus over x minus in order to calculate the slope. Finally, we also have an example to demonstrate how we apply the formula. Let's take part A as an example. In order to find this equation, you should have y minus over x minus, and you should have pick 1 point in the formula. For example, I pick point A this time because it's just 1, 2. The numbers are very simple. And as a result, you have y minus 2 over x minus 1 equal to 11 minus 2 over 4 minus 1. I won't do any simplification or multiplications of the 2 fractions on both sides now, because you will see the number on the right can be simplified itself. So that's why I will keep the left hand side y minus 2 over x minus 1 for a short while, but to simplify the number on the right first. This is very important because I find many students making mistake or careless mistake in the calculation just because they don't simplify the number. And now you can do it mentally or maybe by calculator. You've got this 3. So as a result, y minus 2 will be 3x minus 3, or finally the equation will be 3x minus y minus 1 equals 0. And that's all how you can find the equation. I leave part B for you. I'm pretty sure that everyone can finish it properly. After knowing the 2 ways how we can find an equation of straight line, now we go to see how useful it would be if you present the format of the straight line into called y is mx plus c. Do you remember its name? Yes, it is called slope-intercept form, because the equation itself tells you 2 very important information behind the scene. And now let's take a look on how it would be applied, or how it helps us to understand the line itself. In A, you will see that it's now in a standard form, having x, y, and the number constant on the left-hand side. But if you try to reshuffle its position or rearrange the terms, you should now having 4x plus 2 equal to 2y, or you will say y will be 2x plus 1. To put y on the left-hand side, which is in a better looking, having a subject, then you will see that it is a straight line with slope 2, which helps you to answer the information, as well as y-intercept is equal to 1. Besides answering the question itself, you should also notice that the information tells you more about the picture or the graph of the diagram. First is slope 2, which means the line is going up. Next, y-intercept is 1. That means the line should pass through 1 on the y-intercept. So it's quite a common sense that the x-axis should be below 1. So that's why now you can plot or sketch the graph very quickly. Now would you please pause the video for a minute and try part B by yourselves. Alright, so I think you have finished it. Part B, you should have 6y equal to minus 3x plus 5. Next, we divide y on the right hand, divide 6 to the right hand side. But do remember that we don't write like 3x plus 5 over 6. It's not appropriate because we would like to present them in two terms, separate terms. What does that mean? That means I should write as minus 3x over 6 as well as 5 over 6. In other words, it's minus 1 over 2x plus 5 over 6. Only when you present them into two separate terms, you can read the slope minus 1 over 2. That means the line is going down, as well as y-intercept is 5 over 6, which means the line will cut the y-axis at 5 over 6. Lastly, you will see that x-axis should be below 5 over 6. In other words, you can draw the x-axis accordingly. This is the power of having y is mx plus c in your answer in the presentation, because you can read the slope, y-intercept respectively, as well as the sketched line. This idea is very important because so later on you will see that you need to sketch the line by yourself in order to study some harder questions.